and welcome back to our channel. I'm Michelle.
And I'm Ken, and today we're going to be talking about Jurassic Park. We're going to be reviewing the classic Steven Spielberg film from 1993.
93, okay.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Yeah, so, I mean, come on, it's Jurassic Park.
Yeah, we got a new Jurassic Park movie coming on June the 10th, which is 3 weeks from this Friday.
Wow, not far off.
So I figured we could do a little review series on this channel. We don't really do a lot of those. And try to watch all of the Jurassic Park films, the 5 Jurassic Park films, and review them for you guys on this channel leading up to Dominion. We're going to call it The Road to Dominion.
The Road to Dominion. I like that.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. There's definitely sequels that I like and sequels that I don't like very much.
Yeah.
So I'm interested, but some of them I just haven't seen for a very long time. So it's interesting. I'll be interested to see if my opinion changes on those. But before we get into talking about Jurassic Park, we want to ask that if you are not yet a subscriber to the Married with Media channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, be sure to like this video and comment down below. We know pretty much everybody's probably seen Jurassic Park, right?
I would hope so.
I mean, let us know what you think about this iconic film. Is it your favorite Spielberg film? Is it one of your favorites from your childhood? Let us know in that comment section below. Just leave us some childhood memories of watching this movie in the theater, on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So, Jurassic Park. When was the first time you saw this movie?
I knew you were gonna ask me that.
Can you remember that?
I can definitely say I didn't go to the theater to see it.
It wasn't with me, was it?
No.
I mean, I introduced you to a lot of iconic films. I didn't know if this was one of them.
No.
Okay, you grew up with Jurassic Park, so we can establish that.
Yes, I did not see it in the theater. Growing up, like, I don't know, we didn't really go to the theater a lot. That wasn't really something that my parents took us to do.
You were probably a family that maybe went 2 times a year or something like that.
Yeah, not often. Yeah. We did see Titanic. I do remember seeing that with my mom. But yeah, so didn't see it in theater, but I do have some like really vivid memories of my brother, Michael, playing with like all of the Jurassic Park toys.
Those were big. I had a lot of those too.
Yeah. So, like, you know, that like T-Rex and the little...
I think I should have brought him out here. I'm pretty sure I still have my toy T-Rex in the closet over there.
I can't remember if you still have it or not.
I do.
But yeah, so definitely... You know, it's a classic.
You grew up with this movie.
Did you see it in theaters?
I saw it in theaters. I was 7.
Did your aunt take you?
No. I actually can't remember who took me. I feel like it was a family thing. My parents took me to see it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, very vivid memories of sitting like either the front row or close to the front row. We probably got there a little late and the theater was probably packed. This movie was a huge deal when it came out. So I remember sitting like close to the front row and just seeing this stuff like the dinosaurs like front and center.
I feel like it would have been really good.
And this movie, like we watched it with our kids last night.
Yeah, I was gonna say we watched it with our kids.
It starts off very non-threatening. It's like, you know, you're spending time. It's really kind of a little boring there for the first 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, kind of like, I'm bored, and we're like, just wait, it gets better.
Yeah, so I remember being a kid and being like, oh, you know, this is nice. You got some dinosaurs, and then all of a sudden the T-Rex breaks through the go. Holy crap! And that's like that kind of stuff really gets you and really just kind of sticks in your head.
Yeah, they finally like really got into it, and like they were like super like interactive with it, and you know, freaking out.
It does always amaze me, and this is why I always say, like, we watch these newer movies and it's just like nothing really affects me anymore like it did back then. But watching these older movies, and I know all the beats, I know what's coming, but it's still very thrilling, and it's still like you still get into it every time you watch, and I think that's the makings of, you know, a great film. So
well, I think too, you know, like nostalgia plays a huge part.
It does. And, like, you know, what also helps is John Williams' iconic score. You hear the... like, it all just, you know, flows together.
I definitely... I don't know. I think you don't give nostalgia enough, like, responsibility for liking things the way that you do. Like, I think... But
there are movies that you'll watch and you'll be like, oh, I don't know what I saw in this as a kid you'll remember loving.
Yeah.
And then you watch it now, you're like, I don't know about that. But then there's some movies that just... They almost feel like they're even better now than they were.
Gotcha.
Like, I find myself more like getting into the scenes that I was bored by when I was a kid now, just with them all sitting at the table talking about Life Finding a Way, and all getting pissed at John Hammond for screwing with DNA and playing God and all that stuff. Like I find all that like super interesting now.
That's kind of like the good thing about those like family movies is that there's something for everyone. There's stuff for the kids and there's stuff for the grown-ups, and then like you said, depending on where you are, like that stuff's gonna stick out to you or resonate with you. So
so I when I was a kid, I was like, oh God, get to the dinosaurs already, but now I was like really getting into that stuff.
And I mean, it was kind of hard for me to hear all of the little conversations because like there were parts where our kids were like kind of distracted and not listening to all the dialogue and stuff. And I'm like, I can't hear what they're saying.
That's why I like to watch stuff with subtitles.
Right. But yeah, I don't know. We definitely had a lot of fun watching it as a family. And they're ready to watch the second one. So we plan on doing that.
Hopefully we can get them to watch all 5 of them.
But yeah, I don't know. This, I'm just trying to think of, like some stuff that like really stands out to me. Like there were so many times in this movie where our son thought that the little boy was like dead. He thought that he was a goner. Like, okay, surely he's dead this time.
They really take that kid through the ringer.
Right.
In this movie.
Like both of them kind of, which I feel
she gets sneezed on and everything.
Yeah, she gets sneezed on by what, a bronchosaurus? Yeah.
Bronchiosaurus. But he gets left in the car and then he gets electrocuted. And,
right.
I mean, I guess like she has the traumatic moment with the T-Rex like right in her face.
Right. Well, you've got that whole scene where she's like shining a flashlight and the little brother is like, turn it off.
Yeah. Which I just want to talk about just that scene in general, like when the T-Rex break through the gate. Like there's nothing about that ages to me. Like it is just as thrilling as it was when I watched it in the theater for the first time.
Yeah.
It's just one of those magical like movie moments. I think it's one of the greatest moments in cinematic history.
Yeah.
It's just such a great moment. The T-Rex still looks great.
Yeah.
There was because we watched this in 4K, which I'm not going to get into a 4K review or anything.
Yeah.
But you could definitely notice, I could notice some of the CGI that I didn't notice before when I was a kid.
Gotcha.
Like some of the raptors and the brontosauruses. Like you pointed it out, I think, as well. Like, oh, that doesn't look as good when you're seeing them walk off in the distance.
Right. Well, I thought one that sticks out to me is like in the beginning when they first get there and they see all the brontosauruses
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
That didn't look that great.
It didn't look very good.
Yeah, but I mean, it
But they used all practical effects, like real models for the T-Rex, which is why it looks so great.
Yeah, I was gonna say like something that looked so amazing was when I guess it was a raptor when the egg was hatching. Yep. I mean, like that like. It looked so real.
Oh, yeah, that looked really good,
Like, it looked like a legit baby hatching out of an egg. I mean, it had, like, the blood and, like, the, like, gooey stuff. And, like, it just looked super real. And then, the part with the sick Triceratops. Which, it was funny because Ken's, like...
I was really hyping up the poop scene.
He was, like, really hyping up the poop scene to the kids. Like, just wait, you're going to see the biggest pile of poop here.
That is one big pile of shit.
Biggest pile of poop here in a minute. And then it's funny because...
That was such an iconic line when I was a kid when Jeff Goldblum walks up. He's like, that is one big pile of shit.
That is one big pile of shit.
It was funny because we get to that scene and then our daughter's like, it just looks like a big pile of dirt. So she wasn't that impressed with the poop scene. But I was just going to say the Triceratops, though, like how it was like laying there sick, like... You could tell that they used like a model or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was like, all built as well.
It's like breathing and it looked super realistic. And I mean, we've talked about this before, with other movies or whatever. It is always better when they use like real practical.
Yeah. And they had like the top, effects workers on this movie, like Stan Winston. Again, I know you don't get into like the special effects work, but he did a lot of stuff with like Aliens. Like he's done some iconic movies.
It's like, I'm sure that like, I don't know, like I know that it's probably a lot more work and stuff involved when you have to make actual models and stuff than just popping on some CGI. But it's
you need to watch that Movies That Made Us series on that, because I watched that all when I was super sick last year. I watched every single episode, and I think that there's one on Jurassic Park.
Oh, that's cool.
And they really go into everything that goes into that.
Gotcha.
And it was really interesting.
And then I know Another one of your favorites is the Mr. DNA.
Mr. DNA.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. DNA, where did you come from? From your blood.
Where did you come from?
Right.
Yeah, I love Mr. DNA.
Yeah, that whole like part where he's, what is his name? The guy, the old guy with the one that created the
John
park.
Hammond.
Yeah.
Played by Lord Richard Attenborough.
Fancy name.
Yeah.
Very fitting.
He is knighted.
Yeah. So, like he's brought them all there and he's like showing them through this like tour or whatever. And they're in the little fancy ride or whatever, and they're like trying to get out. They're like, we want to go into the lab or whatever, which I thought was kind of annoying because they're like, we're not going to listen to you. We're just going to lift this up and go in there. And I'm like, well, that's kind of annoying. But yeah, you get to see the little video to where he like talks to himself on the screen and he like planned it out.
I always loved all that stuff when I was a kid.
He like, gets his finger pricked and he's like, ow, that hurt. And
yeah,
like,
he's trying to take him through the whole tour that everybody else is going to be in. Another thing I want to talk about, you got a lot of, and this is the problem that we're going to go into when we get some of the later sequels, more recent sequels. But there's some iconic characters in this movie and they're all great. Great performances. Jeff Goldblum as Ian Malcolm, Sam Neill, I think, probably gives the best performance as Dr. Grant's in the movie, and Laura Dern's fantastic actress as well. Samuel L. Jackson, you got Wayne Knight, which is Newman from Seinfeld, the guy that takes the barber saw and the DNA and all that stuff. So okay, I'm just making sure. I just want to say it's a great cast. It's a great cast. And you all were saying you forgot that I guess Samuel L. Jackson was in the movie.
I did. Yeah, totally did.
But yeah, just a great cast. Everybody's really memorable and iconic. And again, all the conversations are very interesting. And I like how they build everything up and everything just flows so organically. And you care about everybody in this movie. I guess what I'm trying to say.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done.
I'm trying to butt in here and you're just really on a roll. What is his name? The one that has come back each time, or not each time, but the one with the dark hair.
Jeff Goldblum?
Yeah.
Ian Malcolm.
Yeah. So there's like a very funny scene where he's been hurt. It's after he's been hurt, and he's got his he's like laid up on a table. That's
iconic. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like laid up on the table with his shirt unbuttoned, and like you can tell that they were like really like trying to sell his like sex appeal or something.
I told Jeff Goldblum he was a sex icon in the 90s.
Yeah, that's what he said. I was like, what is up with that like close up of him being all
that is Goldbluming all over the place.
Yeah, I had no idea that was like a thing or whatever.
But that's a huge meme like now.
Yeah, I thought it was super funny. But yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of fun. I'm trying to think if there was anything that I was going to talk about the kitchen scene with the kids. That part's like really like where you're like kind of on the edge of your seat, or like it's like it's pretty much towards the end of the movie. The kids are like in the kitchen after.
That's where the raptors kind of take over, because you have the whole T-Rex thing, but then that threat's kind of minimalized for the rest of the movie. Like they see the T-Rex again, then you get him come back at the end, but then it goes into like basically like the raptors are the main villains of the rest of the movie.
These like smart raptors who are like learning how to turn the doorknobs and stuff.
And that is one thing, again, we'll get into it again when we get into the later sequels, that I just hate about the new movies is how they neutered the raptors so much. Like you don't find them scary at all. Now they're like pets and they're obeying commands.
Yeah, but only they don't. Remember, they end up like not listening.
Yeah, but he's still got a pet name. He's naming the raptors Blue. Come on, I just don't like it.
To be fair, that's bound to happen when like someone creates like a man-made park with, they're gonna become like pets or whatever, and like that's kind of scary. Like it kind of goes into like robots or whatever, where like we create them, and then they start to like take over. Yeah. So it kind of gets.
I just found them to be, far more menacing.
Yeah, you just don't like the older films. Jurassic.
I just don't like new movies.
Worlds or whatever.
I just don't.
Yeah, I don't know. You got anything else you want to say about it?
I mean, look, it's a masterpiece. If I'm gonna score it, I'd have to score it a 5 out of 5. It's one of the most important movies to me. It's probably in my top 20 movies of all time. I mean, Spielberg's the man, so definitely an iconic movie, iconic book adaptation. I remember reading the book when I was a kid.
Yeah, I did not read the book.
It is a great book that kind of follows it pretty closely. But yeah, score-wise, 5 out of 5. This is a masterpiece to me. I feel like going forward, there are some sequels that I do like, but they never get any better than this.
Yeah.
This is the pinnacle of the franchise.
For me, I would give it a perfect score too, and it might be nostalgia or whatever, but I feel like the plot is good, like it's just consistent, and
there's little things here and there that don't make sense, and you can poke some holes in, like the whole like Wayne Knight, I forget his name in the movie, Nedry. The whole Nedry storyline with him trying to take the DNA, it's like, how did you all not know that this guy was a little shady?
Right.
Like he's displaying all the signs. Like that's the one thing that stuck out to me this time around. But again, you can poke holes in anything. It's it's a great movie.
Yeah. So I would give it a 5 out of 5 too.
Yep, absolutely. Great film. So yeah, stay tuned, guys, for our review for The Lost World, and we're going to keep this thing going as long as, you all want us to. Definitely give us your feedback down below. If you don't want us to review the Jurassic Park movies, we won't do it.
Well, we might anyway.
We might still do it anyway, but we want to make sure you guys are watching and enjoying. And yeah, we're excited for Dominion, so we want to rewatch these movies. So appreciate you guys watching. Yep. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Comment down below your thoughts on Jurassic Park, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye.